You are 25 years old, and $500 feels like a lot of money to give up every month, and not in a way that is hard to explain. Rent is due. The car needs an oil change. A friend is getting married in April, and you are expected to show up for three separate expensive events before the actual wedding even starts. That $500 is not just sitting there in your checking account waiting for a purpose. It is already spoken for. Mentally, it is gone before the direct deposit even hits. That is the exact condition most people in this country live inside of. Not completely broke, not wealthy, just spoken for. Every single dollar claimed before it lands. You have heard about investing. You've probably opened a brokerage app at some point, looked at the chaotic interface, felt a low-grade anxiety about making a mistake, and closed it immediately. Index funds, ETFs, expense ratios, dividend yields, the language felt like a test you hadn't studied for. My name is Blake, and today we need to talk about why that app made you feel that way. The language of Wall Street was not designed to welcome you. It was designed for people who already knew what they were doing, which means it was designed for people who already had money. Let's look at the cold, hard statistics of how this financial infrastructure actually works. According to the Federal Reserve's wealth inequality data in America, the median net worth for white households is roughly $285,000. For Hispanic households, it's about $61,000. And for Black households, the median net worth sits at just around $44,000. A massive piece of this staggering divide comes down to one single factor: access to and generational participation in the stock market. The system thrives on keeping the club exclusive. It wants you to believe that investing is too complex, too risky, and not meant for you. But the brutal, beautiful truth about the math of compound interest is that it does not care about your background. It doesn't care about your demographic, your zip code, or your degree. It only cares about your consistency. So let's look at what $500 a month actually is before it becomes anything else. $500 a month is $6,000 a year. It is less than most Americans spend annually on ordering food and eating out. It is less than the average car payment multiplied by 12. It is roughly what the average household wastes on mindless entertainment and impulse buys in a calendar year. The point is not to shame you for buying a coffee or going to a concert. The point is that $500 a month is not a fantasy. It is a real number that already exists inside your current budget. And the question of whether that money becomes invested capital or consumed lifestyle is a decision you make once and then repeat automatically month after month. The cost of not starting is invisible. It does not arrive in the mail as a bill. It accumulates silently in the massive distance between what you will have and what you could have had. So you decide to start. You set up an automatic transfer. Maybe $250 goes into a Roth IRA on the first of the month, and another $250 goes into a standard brokerage account on the 15th. The mechanism is running. You have built a structure, and that structure will do the heavy lifting that your motivation never could. You're 3 months in, and you know what happens? Absolutely nothing dramatic. You open the app, the market moved up a little, it moved down a little, the net result looks incredibly boring. This is exactly the moment where 90% of people quit. They don't quit because they are irresponsible. They quit because the human brain is wired for immediate dopamine. Your brain wants a reward now. When you spend $500 on a new jacket or a weekend trip, you get a rush. When you invest $500, you get a slightly larger number on a screen. The feedback loop in year one is almost non-existent. The $1,500 you invested is working. The $1,500 you would have spent is gone forever. But you can't feel the difference yet. That is the entire psychological war of investing. You do not touch the account. A friend mentions a trip to Vegas, a massive sale appears on that tech gadget you've wanted. Your brain desperately tries to redirect that money back to its old purpose. You say no. You treat the investment transfer exactly the way you treat your rent. It is not optional. You are 1 year in. The account holds about $6,400. The market returned roughly its historical average of 7 to 8%. The return added a few $100s to your money. The number is not going to make you rich tomorrow, but what is impressive, though you can't see it yet, is that you have built a base. More importantly, you did something else this year. You changed your psychological relationship with money. The lifestyle recalibrated around a slightly smaller number, and you didn't even feel the deprivation you were so afraid of. This is the exact opposite of lifestyle inflation. The habit of living just slightly below your income cannot be bought, it has to be earned. You are 3 years in. The account holds just over $21,000. Something incredible shifts in your brain. It no longer feels like a boring savings account. It feels like a second income stream from a person you haven't met yet. The $6,000 from year one is now compounding inside the $21,000. Each layer of your money is growing at a different rate because it has been in the market for a different amount of time. You are 5 years in. The account holds approximately $42,000. You have contributed $30,000 of your own money over 5 years. The remaining $12,000 is the market's contribution. Read that again. Your money just generated $12,000 that required zero labor from you. No extra shifts, no toxic boss, no side hustle. It only required you to leave it alone. During this time, the market crashed once. You saw your balance drop by 11% in a single month. You felt the panic in your chest, but you did not sell. You did nothing because you realized that the market does not reward the smartest investor. It rewards the most patient one. You are 10 years in. The account holds approximately $104,000. You have crossed the six-figure mark. This threshold changes you permanently. Below $100,000, it feels like you are pushing a boulder up a hill. Above it, the account becomes a machine that runs completely independent of your daily struggles. At this point, a historically average return generates over $7,000 in a single year. Wait, you are only contributing $6,000 a year. This is what financial advisors call the crossover point. From this day forward, your money is working harder than you are. The account is generating more cash in a year than you are physically putting into it. You are no longer the primary engine of your own wealth. The math has taken over. You look back at the 25-year-old version of you staring at a $1,500 balance, wondering if any of this was a scam. You remember the impulse buys you skipped. None of those single moments felt like a big deal, but together they built $100,000 of pure freedom. You are 15 years in. The account holds $200,000. You have contributed $90,000 of your own money. The market has given you $110,000. Your money has officially more than doubled. The strategy was boring. No crypto gambling, no day trading secrets, just $500 a month into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, consistently, through good economies and bad economies. You are 20 years in. The account holds $312,000. The compounding curve has bent so aggressively upward that it looks like a mistake. You contributed $120,000. The math has added $192,000 to your net worth without a single drop of sweat from you. The account is now generating over $21,000 a year in passive growth. That is more than many people earn in 6 months of back-breaking physical labor, and it was produced by a balance sitting quietly in an index fund, demanding nothing from you. When the news screams about economic collapse and recession, you smile. You have become financially bulletproof. You kept your $500 monthly contribution exactly the same. When you got raises at work, you upgraded your lifestyle, sure, but you never touched that fundamental baseline. You are 30 years in. You are 55 years old. The account holds $567,000. Over $500,000 produced by one single boring decision made 30 decades ago. You put in $180,000. The market handed you $387,000. For every single dollar you sacrificed, the market gave you $2.15 on top of it. Right now, somewhere in this country, a 25-year-old is staring at their banking app. They have $500 that arrived this week. They are deciding whether to spend it on the weekend trip they will forget by next year, or designer clothes that will end up in a donation bin. They do not know that the decision they are about to make is not a $500 decision. It is a $387,000 decision, because that is exactly what $500 invested consistently and left completely alone turns into over 30 years. The $500 is not the point. The decision is the point. The decision to step out of the rigged system. The decision to stop handing your paycheck over to billionaires the second it hits your account. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait until you understand every single financial term on Wall Street. The feeling of readiness is an illusion. The 30 years are going to pass anyway, whether you invest or not. The only question is, what will be waiting for you when they do?